Hello, everybody. My name is Juan Jose Posada. I'm the Executive Creative Director for Geometry in LATAM. You'll see that we have named this talk our most iconic campaign ever. And why did we call it that way? Well, we just put here on the screen just a fraction of the recognitions that the campaign was awarded. So it was very, very successful, and I'll let you know later why and how. But what's an idea if it doesn't get produced? It doesn't take just a creative. It doesn't take even the creative department to produce an idea. It takes a whole agency. So today I have invited Cristina Manosalva, who is the General Account Director in Geometry Colombia. So good morning, Cristina. How are you?
Good morning, Juanjo. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for letting me be in this amazing creative week. And thank you for letting me sharing this case with all of you. And nice to meet you all in this virtual way. Okay, what can I say about this big challenge? Firstly, it was a huge challenge. This case, for me, is one of the best cases we have working on. And as a human being committed to the environment, it was a challenge and a beautiful job to do. Our purpose was to bring wellness for many people, and my feeling was of the duty accomplished once we did it. Why I said bring wellness? Once we knew at the news that the lionfish arrived to our seas, we didn't know how terrible it would be for our environment. But at that time, we realized in the agency, we had something in hands. We can do something for this. And we need to build the best team to fight against this little one because it's a fish, but we can do something. When we talk about this case, is when we say it's important to recognize all the people who were involved in this job. The fishermen communities, their families, and here there are really recognized chefs. And also we got another partner, the church community. Why the church community? When we were running the case, it was Holy Week. And as you know, Colombia is a really Catholic country. And in that week, we don't eat meat, we eat fish. And can you imagine the priest in the sermon telling all the people, please, in this Holy Week, eat fish. And they say like, eat lionfish, and was really exciting. You will see in the case why we put this guy with this question mark. Because we were working with a client who at that time never asked to be a client. And I think, oh my God, this is the first barrier. And the second, and I think even more difficult, we were trying to reach people from the government, which is quite a nightmare. I think here and in all countries is the same thing, because if we didn't know their issues and achieves that they have for that period, it would have been impossible to try to sell the idea. We knew that it wouldn't be easy, but I ask you, when is easy? Never. Even if we have a complete brief from our clients, even if we know what to do, never is gonna be easy. Even for doing a flyer, it's not gonna be easy. So we started to call the ministry every day. I say to all my team, all the staff, okay, let's do it. We need to be optimistic. So we start to call at least 4 or 5 times per day. And after that, we went there. We visit them at least 30 times in the first 2 months. But also, I think it was more times. We needed to be persistent. But finally, we could speak with all the staff and overcome this step. We started lobbying in the minister office again, many times per week. And one day, I received a call. I was waiting many calls, as a normal day, at office day. And it was somebody from the Ministry of Environment and say, hi, we are waiting for you. The minister wants to see you. It was like shocking. Everybody was screaming, "Oh no, I can't believe this." Finally, we meet Gabriel Vallejo, who was the minister at that time. We be able to go to his office. He speak with us. We telling him the plan, and he was totally in love. I mean, he said, "Thank you, guys. I'm with you," and we got his blessing. And I have the first learning here. We have to be always perseverance and insistent if we want to achieve something huge. Sometimes the commercial team is only thinking in numbers, technical issues, incomes. But I learned that day that we need all get involved in this amazing magic, for say something, and in the mood of the creatives. Juanjo, I don't know if we are ready to show the video. Do you want to say something else?
Yeah, so yes, we arrived to our first campaign. It was called Terribly Delicious. Why is that? Because this is an invasive species. It's poisonous, but on the outside, not the meat. And it was a species that no one had ever seen before in our waters. That's why it was an invasive species, right? So we had to convince people to eat it. So imagine if it's difficult to do a campaign for a brand of yogurt or whatever, something that is delicious, cookies. We do campaigns so people eat cookies. We know what cookies taste like. We know they're delicious, whatever. But here we had to tell people to eat a species they were not familiar with, that it's absolutely awful. I mean, it's not pretty. And also it's considered poisonous. So that was quite a task. As I was saying, this involves a lot of people. There's so many people behind this. We want to thank them all. Some of them are still with us. Some of them have gone to other projects. So from our very own CEO in Colombia, Javier Serrano, to myself, Cristina, we also, at that time, we partnered with Ogilvy to do this first project. And there were creative directors involved. There were art directors. There were copywriters. Obviously, people from accounts, social media managers, video directors, and a production team. We're just naming here 4 or 5, but it was a huge team of people to produce this case study. And surprisingly, we had another person on our team, which is our very own president of the country of Colombia at that time, who was supporting this initiative. So that also gave it a huge push. I don't want to talk about it too long. Let's go to the video, please.
Es un depredador feroz, ha invadido ya más de 40 países en el Caribe.
Es una carne que tiene textura.
Está acabando con cientos de especies, se reproduce rápidamente.
Mientras tanto vamos a salar.
Considerada por el presidente de Colombia como una amenaza a la seguridad nacional.
Ponemos los esparraguitos.
Es terrible.
Es delicioso.
Es capaz de comerse hasta 30 pececillos en media hora.
Puro pez león, eso es lo único que ha quedado, ha acabado con todo, no hay nada.
Y la gente en las ciudades no tenía ni idea que existía. Por eso lo estamos dando a conocer.
Estamos convirtiendo el pez león en el plato de moda. Hemos elaborado un libro con más de 45 recetas gourmet y una cartilla con recetas populares.
Lo podemos preparar a la parrilla, a la sartén, en un ceviche, en un sashimi.
Hoy los mejores restaurantes y hoteles del país lo ofrecen.
Los sabores son súper suaves.
Muy rico.
Con el pez león, arepa de huevo, se hace hamburguesa, se hace chorizo, se hace ceviche con pez león.
Ya se volvió costumbre en la casa, les encanta.
El 84% de la población colombiana es católica y más de la mitad de esta población consume pescado en este tiempo de cuaresma.
Los invito no solo a comer pescado, sino a comer pez león.
Pez león.
Pez león, sobre todo en el consumo del pez león.
We can see a board, and it was more than an advertising campaign to put together like the best chefs in the country, the hotels, the restaurants, the Catholic Church. It was huge. It was a huge task, and it started really well. But as in every campaign, you face new challenges. So, Christina,
yes,
tell what happened.
yes. I want to say something in this point.
Yeah.
At that point, we knew this was the start of a movement from an advertising campaign. As you just see in the video, many people understood that eating the lionfish was the weapon to kill the predator. I think we realized at that moment with Juanjo and all the team is like, oh my God, here we had a fact. It became so meaningful. So I just wanted to say that in this point, Juanjo.
Okay, good. Yeah, and that's absolutely true. And then we were facing new challenges. We came up with a campaign called Priceless Traps. Some familiar faces, but some new people came in. This was 100% geometry, and we had to design traps to catch the fish. And the way to do it was, these fishermen, they are really poor, so they cannot spend money on equipment. So why don't we design traps in which they can catch the fish? And it can be done with, I don't know, recyclable material, something that you would find very easily, or even if you had to buy it to produce it, it would cost almost nothing. These were early sketches. We knew that because of the spines of the fish, you have to, catch it from a distance. And we started working on ideas. And I remember when the industrial designers came to us and saying like, we got it, this is only gonna cost, let's say, $40. We said, guys, are you crazy? This fishermen make $6 a day. For them to pay or, to invest $40 is too much to ask. So they started, making sketches of different sort of weapons to catch the fish. We arrived at a couple of ideas that we tested, like this one, for example. That's the materials you would need to make it, which is so easy to find, even at that, the fishermen are in really, really far away towns, very small towns, but this is something they would be able to find. And when you put it together, that's how it would look. And we made a series of weapons. That this is one of them. You would find their favorite. We later found out that this was their favorite.
Juanjo, sorry. In this point, I want to say something. I just remembered our agency looks like a recycling place. Do you remember? It was like many bottles everywhere, all the creatives doing this stuff. It was a really nice picture for me at that time.
Yeah, it was full of garbage everywhere because we had to have, very cheap materials, and it was the industrial designers trying to make things work, and it looked like a junkyard, but it was for a good reason. Yeah, so I was saying that this was their favorite because this was the one that protected them the most. We had to be, really, we have to teach them in a very easy way how to build them. And the Ministry of Environment went again to those communities to teach them how to produce them. This is how it would look when it was already, assembled. And what we did was we created a series of posters in which they could see the instructions on how to build them. This is how like the preferred weapons for the fishermen were. I want to leave you with the video so you can see how it all happened, how it all came together.
Mi abuelo fue pescador. Mi papá también es pescador. Yo soy pescador y espero que mis hijos sean pescadores.
Uno aquí vive con 15 barras de la pesca, pero si no coge uno nada, se va sin nada.
El animal es venenoso al contacto humano, pero una vez cazado es delicioso.
La pesca del pez no es fácil, requiere una técnica, requiere un tiempo y eso obviamente es un proceso en el que estamos construyendo esa cultura, no solo de consumo, sino de cómo generamos la posibilidad de que esos pescadores desarrollen su actividad.
Ay, yo pensaba que era más difícil, es práctico y sí, se puede utilizar.
Yo no solo quiero ser un pescador, también quiero ser un cazador de pez león.
Okay, as Juanjo said, after Terribly Delicious, we realized we had many things in hands. But one, it was like we had a responsibility with the fishermen community. And in the second part of the case, or in the second case, the next step was achieve the permissions to go to capacitate them in how to fish this predator in an affordable way. So, okay, with the account team, we said, okay, we need to go again to the minister. At that time, we were really confident because the minister was on our side. So we started to work on that, all the papers. And once we arrived to knock the ministry doors, we didn't know at that time, the minister have changed already. And we said, oh my God. So what we're gonna do now it's another one. It was Luis Gilberto Murillo, that guy you are just seeing in the chart. And we didn't know him at all. But I say, okay, with this matter, we have to start loving again. And this is another learning, Juanjo, that I told you before when we were speaking. Here, you are not able to feel frustration and pain. You know, it's like, okay, no, now it's another person, but we need to do it. And it's here when you need to start more motivated than before. I told all my team, okay, don't worry. He knows what we have doing, so let's go to speak with him. And it was really, really meaningful again, because he reopened the door. He said, okay, guys, I know you. I know what you did before. So what do you need now? And we said, we need to go there. We need to go there and speak with the fishermen community. We need to go there to capacitate them. And he said, okay, let's do that. So Juanjo, that was the barrier, but as you can see, they opened the door again. And never is gonna be closed doors. So he reopened the door again.
Yeah, so we had to start all over again. And the need at that time was, there was not enough demand of the fish in the restaurants and the hotels. So when to the fisheries, we went to the fishermen, we asked them what was wrong. And because the fish is poisonous, to catch the fish is really difficult. So that was a great project. That was a great project. And then once again, you start to have different tasks to face because all of the lionfish thing was running, but we had to stick really close to the fishermen. We then faced another challenge, and we solved it with this campaign that we called Posters for Catching Fishermen. This was also beautiful because this put together two geometry offices working together. It was geometry in the UK, London, and geometry obviously in Bogota because they had the relationship with the client. And I was in London at that time, so there was a bridge between the two offices. And if it wasn't because for London, we could have not made this happen, at least not at that time, because the idea was kind of there, but the technology did not exist in Colombia at that time. So thanks to the team that you're seeing on screen, which involved people from the two offices, and there was this head of 3D design called Richard Hartle that came to my desk one day after like months and months of making tests that said, you know what, Juan, I think we finally have the technology. What we wanted was, because the fishermen, they like to travel really lightly. When the Ministry of Environment went to give those talks, they had like brochures to give to them, but they did not take it with them because they don't like to carry anything. What we said is, what if we make posters that obviously have very, very meaningful information, but have another use? They can use it for another thing. So this was sort of the idea, but at that time, as I said, it could not happen until we found the technology. That was like our very first sketches. We thought we found something that, because it doesn't have to be ugly, we thought it could be also beautiful. That's when we found, we had a series of topics that we needed to explain to them. What was the toxicology of the lionfish? As I said, this was not, it hadn't been seen in the Caribbean. So it was very new for the fishermen. They sort of spot the fish. They knew it was poisonous, but we had to explain really well how to hunt it, where to hunt it, which were the characteristics of the fish, why hunt it, and how to capture it. So we had to give a lot of information. This is what we finally did. This is what we arrived to. Thanks to putting together the two offices, we found a way to make these posters a reality. We called it Posters for Catching Fishermen. Let's watch the case study, please. yeah, that's how the campaign looked like. Thank you to Edwin, the creative director in Colombia. Thank you to Danilo and Jan in the UK, and all of the people that work behind this. If you remember, you will see on the left-hand side, that's how we started thinking of the campaign. And then on the right-hand side, that's when it became a reality. Why did we call this our most iconic campaign ever? I don't know, Christina, if you want to start saying what made it different to one of the many thousands of campaigns we have done in the last years.
Yeah. Firstly, I want to say, I don't know, Juanjo, if you feel the same. Every time when I see the videos, I feel like piel de gallina, chicken skin. How to say that? It's like, yeah, it's so emotional. No, there are a lot of things that I could say, but I would like to say that the most important learning here is there is not distance between creatives and commercial team, and neither between our clients. When we were with them, like if they were part of our team, they were our partners, it's gonna be better, we cannot work like separate words, and an idea doesn't come in one piece. Is that what I want to say? Our clients are in a continuous searching all the time of experience, add value, and ideas. That this phrase is so typical, ideas coming out of the box. All the time they say the same, but here it was like the ideas that bring wellness. No, it's not always out of the box, it's not always romper paradigmas, Juanjo. How do you say that?
And
yes,
the other phrase you were trying to say was goosebumps. We feel
exactly.
goosebumps.
It's not always that. Here it was, I need an idea that bring wellness, and it was we did. This case is always leave doors open to explore the possibility to work in new pitches and new business. And I guess I could say that in Lionfish, we had the opportunity to demonstrate that it's possible, even if the client is not looking for us. What it was happened at the beginning, but you see, after a while, he was our partner. He was part of the team. We will going to find them always, because we commit as an advertisement agency. And in this case, our commitment was with our planet, and we work with that aim in mind. We need to work as a responsible human being always. So with this case, for me, it's so iconic for all the things that I just said. I can't stay here telling more things and be emotional, but no, I don't know, Juanjo. You can say more things than me now.
Well, and then what started to happen is that the agency started getting a lot of recognition for this. You will find that, it was a campaign that handed 5 Lions. I'm so glad to see you, Christina.
I want to say something in that chart, Juanjo.
Yep.
He said we fished 5 lions, but at that time we fished that lion. We fished the minister. And when I saw him holding the prize, he said, "Thank you, guys," and he gave us a hug to each one, the creatives, and he just said, "Thank you, guys." At the beginning, I didn't know how it would be, but now I just want to say thank you. And you can see in the picture, it's so meaningful.
Yeah, so it was like a historical moment for Geometry. It was our first year as an agency, as Geometry. You would see that recognitions start popping in, and thank you, Javier. You're right there in the pictures. Giving speaking to the press about our campaign. Herman Yunes, he was a key player. He's our original CEO. He was always supportive of this initiative. You can see also Camilo Fanador, who is the vice president of production in Colombia, and then the teams. Okay, so back again to why are we calling this our most iconic campaign ever? Some facts that I want to share with you. Number one, more than 50 people worked on this. people from two different countries, separated by the Atlantic Ocean, UK and Colombia. Then 3 agencies working with this. Also 4 years, because this was not a one-off. We stayed with the Ministry of Environment for 4 years. I mean, we built a relationship. I know that Christina was mentioning the difficult part, but it was also a relationship that lasted 4 years. So we stay there. We stay with the client. It's not that we went looking for another brief. We stayed with them. Also, the rewards. 5 different Lions, 4 DNAD pencils. We won 9 Grand Prix, including Art Directors Club in New York, but also Whipped Cream, which is the best of WPP's work. And it was selected as let's say, the Grand Prix in integrated. But we also won gold, and we won gold in the best festivals that there are worldwide: Cannes, Wine Show, Clio, and London. And we were awarded in a lot of categories, from design to effectiveness, direct, promo, PR, product design, innovation, good, activation, and integrated. But all of that, which is facts, that's nothing. That's nonsense. The best thing that this campaign achieved was that we made an invasive species become a national dish. The most important thing that this campaign did is that it became popular culture. Nowadays, if you go to Cartagena, for example, the taxi driver that takes you from the airport to the hotel is going to ask you, have you tried lionfish? If you go to a restaurant in Santa Marta, which is on the Caribbean, Colombian coast, they're going to ask you, do you want to try lionfish? We're not paying them. It became popular culture. They are aware, and they are now speaking of the lionfish as a national dish. And we are happy to say that we are part of what the people that started this, but now it's popular culture. It does not belong to geometry anymore. It belongs to the people. So that's why I think this is our most iconic campaign ever. Let's do more iconic work. So thank you, Christina. This is not just the creative department. It takes a team of so many people. And if we don't work together, if the account part, if the commercial part of the agency is not on board, it might just not going to happen. So thank you so much, Christina, for helping us remind all of these anecdotes that were behind these campaigns.
So let's do more iconic work.